Antichrist, the ultimate adversary of Christ. The Antichrist is linked with the second coming and the apocalypse. Initially depicted as a man, in contemporary interpretations, the Antichrist is often portrayed as a being who is part human and part demon, the offspring of Satan, brought into existence by a woman. The only direct references to the Antichrist in the Bible are found in the letters of John. The term itself is ambiguous, potentially meaning opponent of Christ, false Christ, against Christ, or in place of Christ. These references suggest that the Antichrist is an established tradition, indicating that this adversary will appear before the second coming in an attempt to take over the world. In the Holy Bible, 1 John 2:18-22 states, "Who is the liar but he who denies that Jesus is the Christ?" This is the Antichrist, he who denies the Father and the Son. In 4:3, the author mentions, "Every spirit which does not confess Jesus is not of God." This is the spirit of the Antichrist, which you heard was coming and now is in the world already. Additionally, 2 John 7 notes, "For many deceivers have gone out into the world, those who do not acknowledge the coming of Jesus Christ in the flesh. Such a one is the deceiver and the Antichrist." Here, the Antichrist appears more as a spirit or an attitude that influences many people, specifically the disbelievers and thus heretics, rather than being a single individual. Other passages in the New Testament refer to opponents of Christ without explicitly using the term Antichrist. The Gospels of Mark and Matthew mention false prophets, and Paul's 2 Thessalonians 2:3-12 describes the lawless one, or the man of lawlessness, who will appear before the second coming.
Let no one deceive you in any way, for that day will not come unless the rebellion comes first, and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the son of perdition, who opposes and exalts himself against every so-called God or object of worship, so that he takes his seat in the temple of God, proclaiming himself to be God. Do you not remember that when I was still with you, I told you this? And you know what is restraining him now, so that he may be revealed in his time. For the mystery of lawlessness is already at work. Only he who now restrains it will do so until he is out of the way. And then the lawless one will be revealed, and the Lord Jesus will slay him with the breath of his mouth and destroy him by his appearing and his coming. The coming of the lawless one by the activity of Satan will be with all power and with pretended signs and wonders and with all wicked deception for those who are to perish, because they refuse to love the truth and so be saved. Therefore God sends upon them a strong delusion to make them believe what is false, so that all may be condemned who did not believe the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness.
Revelation mentions other adversaries, primarily the beasts of the land and the sea, and the dragon or serpent, which represents the devil himself. The notion of the Antichrist was more elaborately developed in the 2nd century CE, notably by the church father Irenaeus, who argued that the best defense against the devil is Christ. Christian prayers and the invocation of Christ's name cause demons to flee. However, the Antichrist, a human, will emerge as an apostate, murderer, and thief. Irenaeus claimed he would possess all the devil's power and attract followers and worshippers. Ultimately, the Antichrist will be defeated, and Satan and his demons will be consigned to eternal torment in hell. Origen, another early church father, referred to the Antichrist as the son of the evil demon, who is Satan and the devil. He predicted that in his final confrontation with Christ, the Antichrist would be supported by Satan and his demons, who were imprisoned at the time of the Passion. Augustine, one of the most influential early fathers, considered the Antichrist to be a single individual rather than groups of evil men. Following the Protestant Reformation in the 16th century, Protestants often labeled the Pope as the Antichrist, while Catholics claimed that Martin Luther would father the Antichrist. In 1848, the Blessed Virgin Mary, appearing in apparitional visions at La Salette, France, predicted that the seat of Rome would serve the Antichrist. How I warned and warned that Satan would enter into the highest realms of the hierarchy in Rome. The third secret, my child, is that Satan would enter into my son's church. In 1928, Lucifer was a principal demon involved in possessing a woman in Erling, Iowa. Father Theophilus, the exorcist, became convinced that the time of the Antichrist was near. However, he believed that the Antichrist would not be the son of the devil, but Lucifer himself, who would create a body out of earthly matter to act in the world. The view of the Antichrist as the son of the devil is the most popular modern interpretation, depicted in fiction and films such as Rosemary's Baby, The Omen, and The Devil's Advocate. Subscribe now to the channel for more mysterious stories and facts.